A forthcoming Korean film has ignited buzz even before its theatrical release, propelled solely by its trailer. Rapidly spreading across platforms after its debut, the launch trailer has surpassed 15 million cumulative views, prompting evaluations that it is already a major talking point before hitting theaters. The film in question is The King's Warden, director Jang Hang-joon's first historical drama. Set in 1457 at Cheongnyangpo, the story follows a village chief who voluntarily chooses exile in hopes of reviving his community, and a young former king who has been dethroned and banished. Centered on the relationship between King Danjong, personal name Yi Hong-wee, and Eum Hong-do, the village chief of Yeongwal's Cheongnyangpo, the narrative reframes a familiar historical tragedy through an intimate, human lens. The King's Warden has drawn particular attention for positioning itself as the first Korean film to focus on Danjong's lesser-known story. Released on December 12 through Showbox's official social media and other channels, the launch trailer reached 15 million total views by December 19 across all platforms. Rather than simply recreating historical events, the preview clearly signals the film's intent to expand the tragedy surrounding Danjong into a story about time spent in exile and the relationships forged there. The cast lineup has also become a major driver of the film's buzz. Yoo Hae-jin stars as Eum Hong-do, the village chief of Danjong's place of exile, sharing extensive on-screen chemistry with Park Ji-hoon, who plays Danjong. Yoo Ji-tae takes on the role of powerful statesman Han Myung-ho, while Jeon Mi-do joins the cast as the court lady Maehwa. Since the trailer's release, reactions praising the combination of powerhouse actors have spread quickly. Beyond name recognition, the casting feels narratively convincing. Each actor's established image aligns closely with the power dynamics, daily life in exile, and emotional tensions surrounding Danjong, creating the sense that the casting itself hints at the story. At the film's production presentation, Yoo Hae-jin explained his reason for choosing the project. "It's not the Danjong story we commonly know from history, but the parts that aren't in the textbooks." He noted that the film's focus on who Danjong met, what relationships he formed, and how he spent his days in exile was particularly compelling. Even when the historical outcome is widely known, exploring the unrecorded aspects of daily life and human connection provides audiences with an emotional entry point, shifting attention from the ending to the characters' journeys. Yoo Hae-jin added, "I wanted this to be a film with genuine laughter and real emotion," saying, "When you come to the theater, I think you'll feel, this is what going to the movies is all about." In a genre often associated solely with heaviness, his remarks suggest the film's tonal direction, one that embraces warmth and emotion while portraying the tragic fate of a king through lived inhumanity. Director Jang Hang-joon also shared that he sought advice from his wife, screenwriter Kim Eun-hee, before committing to the project. "I told her about it at home, and she said, 'Do it,'" he recalled with a laugh. "You tend to listen to people who are doing well, so I thought, then I should." Regarding casting, he added, "I wanted a fresh, unexpected combination, actors who are truly great at acting." In hindsight, the ensemble itself appears to be a key force behind the trailer's viral momentum. Jang elaborated on casting Yoo Hae-jin, saying, "For the role of Eum Hung-do, both the production team and I had only one person in mind." He explained, "Yoo Hae-jin naturally conveys warmth and humanity, but in certain scenes, he suddenly brings incredible depth. We needed someone who could do both, and he was our first choice." As the figure who encounters Danjong directly at his place of exile, Eum Hung-do is positioned as the emotional bridge through which audiences may connect to the story, making Yoo's balance of familiarity and gravitas especially fitting. The casting of Park Ji-hoon as Danjong also drew interest. Jang said, "People around me told me to watch Weak Hero, so I did. He wasn't just fragile, there was depth in his eyes. I wanted Danjong to feel that way, so I reached out." After gaining recognition through Netflix's Weak Hero, Park Ji-hoon takes on his first major historical role with this film. Park Ji-hoon explained his approach. "Danjong isn't a figure whose personal details are thoroughly documented, so I tried to approach the script with a sense of purity." He added, "I thought a lot about what it must have felt like to experience those emotions at such a young age, how to express that emptiness and helplessness." His preparation was extensive. Park learned traditional Korean archery, gukgang, and lost around 15 kilograms for the role. "I wanted to express that sense of helplessness physically as well," he said. "Not just being thin, but appearing fragile and pitiful." Rather than treating such training as spectacle, Park framed it as a symbolic extension of the character's emotional state. Online reactions to the trailer have been equally enthusiastic. Comments such as, "The first Korean film to tell Danjong's story," "This feels right from the opening," "An all-time great cast," "One of the most anticipated films of 2026, and "That gaze really feels like Danjong," have flooded social media. Many viewers also expressed disbelief at seeing such a lineup together in a single film. Additional responses like, "Looking forward to a 10 million viewer hit in 2026, this is heading for 10 million admissions," and 10 million viewers, reserved, reflect how the trailer's concrete view count has already shaped expectations. Even before release, the numbers themselves are fueling a sense of inevitability around the film's box office potential. The King's Warden is set to open on February 4, 2026, ahead of the Lunar New Year holiday season. With a star-studded cast including Yoo Hae-jin, Park Ji-hoon, Yoo Gtae, and Jeon Mi-do, and a clear intention to reimagine King Danjong through the time outside the records, the film has captured attention from the trailer stage alone. Having already crossed 15 million views before release, all eyes are now on whether this early buzz will translate from a hot topic into a definitive audience choice. See also, Yoo Jae-suk and Kim Jong-kook pay personal respects at Ji Suk-jin's mother's wake as tributes continue.